Hello everybody, this is Unbroken Duck 2, and I'm making this video to talk about the potential negative of Season 19. And I had the patch notes pulled up, as you can see by Lifeweaver, looking at you in that manner. And with that being said, let us talk about the patch notes. Well, the negatives of them. So, here, I got an example for what I was like to talk about. So my problem with the patch notes is they did micro buffs and micro nerfs. Now, if you're wondering why that is a big problem, is because if you micro buff someone too much, they become overpowered, and then you gotta nerf them to the ground. Think of Diva, the one season. Diva got micro buffed so much to where that one season, I don't remember what season it was. It won't come to me, but they micro buffed her so much that she was just like the best tank, no competition. Okay, and I have the feeling that this is going to start happening with some of these other tanks and other characters. So here, like let's look at a micro nerf for example, Doomfist. Okay, his power block got reduced from 80 to 75. Doomfist wasn't the best tank to begin with. He was good, but not great. This kind of knocks him down a little bit because it reduces his survivability. And if he can't survive when he dives your backline, well, he kind of loses his niche because he can't sit out front because it's the same thing. He just doesn't have anything to stop damage. His name of the game is diving, but if you remove his, the power of his damage reduction ability, he's just going to fall over, right? And that's kind of my problem with it is if they hit him with another micro nerf, he's just going to be bad. Like one or two micro nerfs and following this, and he's just going to be absolutely terrible. Moving on to someone that I think, where is it? Mauga. This is another person where it's not a micro nerf this time, but it's a micro buff. And this is where I personally, as a tank player and somebody that enjoys competitive Overwatch, am starting to take some problems with this. Okay? Mauga is already strong. As somebody who plays Mauga a little bit, I dabble. His ult didn't feel like it took that long to get. It felt good. Good is an overstatement. It felt all right. It felt probably where it should be, considering everything else in this kit. Now, with this ultimate cost reduction, it still takes a little bit, right? It's barely any much of a buff, but that's the problem. It's a micro buff. They're not going to see the number increase they want. So what are they going to do? They're going to increase it again. I'm not saying the ultimate cost when I say again, but if we're talking about the halfway through patch, that's going to come out, like I said, halfway through the season. If they micro buff them again, come season 20, if they're still not seeing the numbers and they give them another buff, best tank in the game, no questions asked. In the first half, if not that entire season, it's going to be miserable, like it was when Mauga initially released. Miserable for everybody to play against because he was so dang good. And I feel like that's the direction that we're heading with. Not with just Mauga, but some of these other characters that I will get into just a second. Another character that they minor buffed is Reinhardt, but it's a perk, so it really doesn't mean anything. That's just a number change. Moving on, Freya. I understand, like I just said, it's a perk thing, but, however, if it's a huge buff or a huge nerf, it, means something. So if we look at Freya here with her Relentless Barrage major perk, it went from 4 to 8 on the ammo refunded on, I think it's direct hits. That is bad. That is so bad for not just, the average player, but everybody across the entire board. If we were to look at people that are like Grandmaster, Master, top 500, I don't think I don't know if they see a lot of Freya play, but I know for someone like me who's, high plat diamond, I see a couple Freyas, mixed in, and when I see a good Freya, it is very hard to deal with her. This just makes that worse. And I have a feeling if you have a middling Freya who can hit a couple shots here and there, let's say their overall accuracy is 33%, 1 in 3, so that's taking into account her jump up and her 2 initial dashes. and let's say they're managing their ammo all the way through properly, they're still going to get a kill or two. They're still going to get a kill or two. And then if we take it to the higher level, right, where they're probably hitting almost all their shots, let's do some simple math here. What's 8 times 3? It's 24. She has, if I'm not mistaken, 12 arrows in a mag. That is 2 reloads for free. For free. Just for hitting your shots. Yes, is it skill-based? Yes. But you can't deny the fact that this is scary. This could be a problem. If they give her anything else, I say she's the best damage. 10 toes down. Moving on. Another micro nerf for Reaper. I personally didn't like how quick he could move, especially as somebody who plays a lot of tank. I would go, oh, okay, let me go get this pick. I'd get the pick. And, well, this is also coming from the standpoint of someone who plays Roadhog. I'd, pick off a support. I'd look behind me. Oh, my entire backline is in ruins. Because I didn't hear the Reaper coming, first of all, and he's just so damn quick that it's like, oh, okay, everybody's just falling over. Wonderful. So I'm glad that his movement speed is reduced in Wraith form. It makes it a little bit easier to get him once he dives your backline, but other than that, not much. Another huge buff for someone, Ana, 1.5 to 2 on her critical hit damage multiplier with the Headhunter major perk. Problem. Huge problem. I think her damage lies somewhere between 60 to 70. 75 at most. We are talking about, with a headshot, 120 to 150 damage. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. And let's say it's a good Ana, and let's say it's a team that can kind of survive with only one support, and let's say they get a little frisky and start damage boosting her with a Mercy. A headshot will kill almost every single character in the game. 100% guaranteed. Unless it's a tank. Or maybe Reaper or Bastion. And May. Some of the tankier DPS. That is terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying. And that should not be in the game. A support should not have that much flexibility. Because if you give them that much flexibility, they're pretty much playing 2 parts in the same equation. Which, let me break it down for you like this, okay? Every single team has 5 players. Okay. With this ability, it's now a 5 versus 6 because now Ana can support her team by keeping them up and hit headshots which fry your backline or fry your front line or everything in between. She's playing 2 roles. That is not okay. This needs to get reverted as soon as possible because if you put this in the right player's hands or a mediocre player's hands, it is a problem. Absolute problem. Same thing with Baptiste. The king of playing 2 roles. Now got a major buff. His Assault Burst major perk no longer removes healing from Regenerative Burst. What? Why are we doing this? Supports this patch got so many big buffs, it is not okay. Support was already a very strong role last season. They don't need any more buffs. Why are we buffing them this much? And this is like the tip of the iceberg. Here, let's go down. Let's look at Juno. Ultimate cost reduced by 8%. Why? Kiriko. Kiriko's nothing. Lifeweaver. Pedal Power, his major perk. Attack speed bonus increased from 25 to 30%. 30% attack speed bonus. Let's say you get a Bastion on top of that Pedal, and you have him damage boosted by a Mercy. Nothing is standing in that way. Nothing is standing in there. And I believe the Pedal, once in the air, lasts about 10, 15 seconds-ish. That is more than enough to get 2 picks. And you just win the team fight instantly. Or if the team fight hasn't even started yet, you just win it anyways, and they're forced to regroup. That's terrifying. One support should not have that much game-changing power in their hands. Same with the Ana buff. It's 1 perk. If it was 2, I'd still be a little upset, but not as much as this, because you can still go get his other perk and it would still be just as bad. And that's the problem here. This is the problem that we're seeing. These huge micro buffs and micro nerfs for the other roles, but then you get these huge buffs for these supports, and it's like, why? They don't need it. Moving on, Wu Yang got tweaked a little bit. It's kind of a nothing burger. It's just, if you're better at the character, you do the same thing. And all this to say, the game is not in a very good state right now. It's just not. If we were to look at some of the, not just balancing issues, but character issues, nobody's getting any skins. It's like, except the, major players. Mercy, Juno, Kiriko, Genji, Tracer, Reinhardt, even. It's like, can we show some love to some other people? Like, genuinely, can we show some love to Venture? Can we show some to Ramatra? I mean, let this sink in. Kiriko has 30 skins. 30, no, not 30 skins blankly, 30 legendary skins. And a mythic skin, mythic weapon. Ramatra, who's been out, a shorter amount of time, but very similarly, has 11 legendary skins, no mythic weapon, no mythic skin. Make that make sense. And Juno, who's been out less time than both of them, already has a mythic skin. Why? Makes no sense. No sense. And like some of the actually like fun characters, right? Some of the I wouldn't really describe them as fan favorites, but characters that are a little bit more deserving, let's say like Roadhog. Let's say Hammond. As much as I hate that little hamster, he kind of deserves it. Or let's look at Soldier. Soldier deserves not a legendary, but a mythic skin. He got a weapon skin, but I personally don't think that's enough. Show him some love. All right? Show Bastion some love. All right? It's these kind of Junkrat too. These characters that aren't seeing any love are getting left in the dust, and not even to mention the fact Junkrat isn't getting any skins. Show some love to other characters. This is not okay. This is a problem, and it needs to be addressed. Not even to mention the fact that these characters that are getting a lot of these skins are good. They're already fan favorites because of the way that they, let's just be honest here, because of the way that they look. They're good looking characters. They put a lot of time and effort into it. All right? So they get a lot of skins. But some of the characters that are more interesting to look at personally, like let's say, who's someone that's got a lot of detail? Zenyatta. I suppose Zenyatta. I mean, the intricacy of his balls. Let's take the Netcracker one, right? They literally have the grooves on it. It literally looks like a nut. Makes sense, right? But they don't show him that much love. Another character that's got a lot of detail that is underappreciated. Freya, a little bit. I mean, I personally like looking at the character like shoot up in the air and then like the cape just comes flying up too. I think that's a nice touch. Bastion, when you melee, his like arm flaps his metal flaps come forward and stuff. It's like, or they kind of like jiggle around. It's nice to look at. It's like these underappreciated details on these characters that are kind of getting left in the dust. Or Junkrat and stuff. It's like, we need to be showing some of these other characters love, and we're just not, and it's a problem. But with that being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to me have a little bit of a rant about this, and I appreciate you being here. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.